Hello everyone, welcome to The Experience. My name is Flamino and today I'm going to show you what it was like to spend 30 days using a bullet journal. Go ahead and leave a like on my video to help me out, I'd really appreciate it. And comment Pukarontas because that's the magic word here on the channel, right? First, let's clear up some questions, okay? What is a bullet journal? So you can understand, right? Those things with English names that make it seem like the person is fancy. But actually, it's just a tracking journal. Yeah, that's it. It's just a tracking journal, okay? Imagine you have a regular diary, right? Where you write down your daily thoughts, note what happened to you to keep a record and all that. But this bullet journal is that just a bit more detailed when it comes to numbers, to tasks completed, to tasks not completed. So you can really measure in the long run what you needed to do and what you didn't do. But the most practical way to use it is like a bullet diary, where you write down your tasks and mark a dot if you did the task, or a dot of another color if you didn't do the task. And you can use these dot markings for any kind of thing. I don't know, ideas you had, habits you want to start implementing, so you want to measure how many times you manage to do that habit daily. Nowadays, there are even several types of ready-made bullet journals. They're already like that, with suggestions of things you can write down and stuff, with colorful pages, all cute and nice. But you can make yours in a minimalist way, in a simple way, just with what you want to write down and stuff. There's no rule for this, it's more about being useful than being cute. And like, I've never had a diary to write down what I did during the day and all that. The closest thing to a diary I've had was a dream journal for experiences here on the channel. But still, I only write things in my dream journal when I'm having an experience, because I find the act of writing really boring. So, is that okay? I decided that I would make a bullet journal for myself. I didn't want a ready-made bullet journal notebook. I was going to make my own minimalist one. I got the inspiration. I learned more about it from Pinho's video. Shout out to Pinho, his content is really good. A channel about minimalism. I'll leave the name here, Pinho, if you want to check it out. Personal development is one of the best Brazilian channels I know. I also checked out some bullet journals online, so I could know what would be interesting to include in my day, what would be relevant for me to write down to look at the end of the month. But while I have you here, what would you put in your bullet journal? What would you like to have written down every day, whether you did it or not? Ideas and everything else, what would you put there? So I noticed that people write down ideas, people write down habits they're starting to implement, even simple things, for example. Oh, how many liters of water did I drink today? And they record that daily, just as it happened. In Pinho's case, it's his sleep frequency. How it's going, if he's having good sleep, if he's having a stressful day. I admit that at first, that crossed my mind, okay? Why don't these people do this digitally, like on Notion or Trello, on organization apps, which are already really good? But there is indeed a catch. Writing by hand is better than typing. When you write, you absorb the information better, you express the information better, and you have the possibility of taking it more seriously. And for many people, the act of writing is even a kind of therapy. That's not the case for me though. After about half an hour of thinking, I decided what I would put here in my bullet journal. What would be at least somewhat relevant for me to see my progress, my development, or what I stopped doing at the end of the month, and I'm going to show you here now. Well, so let's go. I put here short video posts, which is something I've been trying to keep up with to have a better frequency and all that. I wrote it down here to see if I could keep up that frequency, the amount of recording I did, because I wanted to see if I was slacking off too much at the end of the month or if I was working as much as I think I should. The amount of water I drink per day, I think it's something very relevant. It's something I try to keep at about 3 liters of water. My workout frequency isn't that important to me. I take it pretty easy. I basically work out every other day, and here's something I've been implementing. I'm not going to give any spoilers about whether it's for an experiment or not, but it's my runs, what I consider as cardio or actual running training. And because of an experiment I started. But I'm not going to give any spoilers. I also wrote down here the tasks I had to do during that time. It was really quick to finish this actually. I think it took me about half the month to finish everything, including here. Look, at the bottom you can see it says picnic, because I'm organizing a picnic that's going to happen now on the 25th. I'll leave the information here, you're all invited. I'm organizing a picnic there at Villa Lobos Park. It's a picnic that's going to be open to the public and everything. But I'm going to bring a bunch of friends, my content creator friends and everything. And one detail is that it's going to be a vegan picnic, so if you want to come, just bring a plate of vegan food. There will be a lot of people there who create content. We'll be there with open arms, I'll be there too, and I'll also be making a video there. And I think it's a cool way to spread my ideology, you know? Something I think is nice, a good cause. I'm not really into activism, so I do this kind of thing to show people all the good vegan food there is. Going back to the bullet journal here and here, on the other side of the page there's a note about my wrong meals and why I specifically wrote wrong meals. Because I'm a guy who eats really well, so I have more right meals than wrong meals. Here specifically, you'll see that there are practically none. I have 2 mistakes because I started from the moment you can see here that I didn't make any more mistakes. It's because I started a diet to record here for the channel, and when I'm on a diet to record, I don't make mistakes. I follow it strictly so I can show the results to people, just like you always see real results in my videos here. But then, alright, how was the process of writing these things down in the bullet journal? Honestly, man, it was pretty boring. I admit, it was really boring. In the first week, I would mark the little dots there every day before going to bed, faithfully and neatly. It was really quick actually. It's something that takes just seconds to write down what you did or didn't do. Very easy, very fast. In the second week, I already started to change this process, and I would say like, oh, it's already 6 in the evening. I've pretty much done everything, and soon I'm going to the gym, which is the only thing left to do. I'll write it down ahead of time, sometimes as early as 3 in the afternoon, even though the day isn't over yet. I hadn't even done all the tasks, but I knew what I was going to do and wrote it down in advance. From the third week on, it was all downhill. I was writing it down. So I would let 2 days pile up and then have to stop to write everything at once, like, oh, I'll write yesterday's and today's all at once. So I spend less time, even though it actually doesn't take any time at all. It's really quick, but it's just an annoying thing to do. And I wasn't really caring about it that much anymore, you know? I wasn't giving that much importance to this habit of writing things down every day at the end of the day. Sometimes I'd write, oh, tomorrow I'll be able to do this. But then, what would happen in my head? I would say like, man, I'm going to write down tomorrow's in advance, so I'll be forced to do it, so I'll write it here. Look, I recorded, made a video, drank 3 liters of water there. The next day, I'd wake up motivated, thinking I had to do it just because it was written down. That wasn't how it was supposed to be. So, to be really honest with you, for me, the bullet journal was more of an obstacle, an annoying extra thing in my day than something useful. But I'll also mention the benefits it had at the end of the month. I stopped to analyze the dots here and some things made sense. That took a bit of weight off my conscience, and I had never thought about that before. For example, on the days I didn't work out, I was running around a lot, very busy with work. I didn't drink water. So, most of the time when I didn't finish a task for the day, it was because I was overwhelmed with other things, and I made a note of that. But we don't pay attention to that in our daily lives. Well, at least I don't pay attention to that in my daily life. But I realized there was this pattern of me not doing some tasks when I was really overwhelmed with others, and that made me a little happy, you know? So there was a positive side to having this self-analysis. Without a doubt, this is not something I'm going to continue. It's really boring, and for me, like at the end of the month, I looked and said, okay, I did all this and now I'm already kind of naturally very organized. So I don't feel the need for the bullet journal, but I understand that for many people it's a really good trigger for someone to get into the habit, to keep going, to feel motivated, to be able to make the little dot there in another color, which was the check dot, to manage to do 1 more day, so it has its good reason. In short, that's it. It was an annoying experience for me, it was kind of pointless. But I imagine that this video can help some people get started with this kind of thing and help people get into habits, to be able to maintain a routine. I believe this video can help many people, so if it helps someone, the experience was already worthwhile for me. If you like this video, if you like the idea, leave a like here, it will really help my work a lot, and leave a comment, what would you put in your bullet journal? Or if you've already had experience with bullet journal, leave a comment down below. There's always people talking to each other, and sometimes things I forgot to mention in the video, people add here. See you in the next experience. I considered tracking how often I got annoyed at having to write things in the bullet journal. But if I made that a checkbox item, I'd have to write down 1 more thing, seriously. There, you can write down if you want the most trivial things, like, oh, how many times this month I hooked up with the neighbor's mom, anything like that, like whatever you want to write down. So at the end of the month you can say, haha, I hooked up with her 16 times.